Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Jay, and this is the 2016 Land Rover Range Rover. So ever since I did the unboxing reviews of the Toyota Land Cruiser and the Infiniti QX80, I've had a lot of requests to do another large luxury SUV. So this is what I chose, and I came down to Land Rover Sacramento, which is part of the Nilo company, to do this latest unboxing review for you. So the Land Rover Range Rover. So this is a car that first appeared actually way back in 1970, but that car was actually very different than the one you see here. This is currently the fourth generation, I believe. That original first generation Range Rover, it was so basic. It even had like vinyl seats, a plastic dashboard that, both of which could be cleaned off with like a hose. It was essentially a large farmer's SUV, but as you can see here, the Range Rover has evolved into a full-scale, complete luxury SUV. It's one of the most expensive SUVs on the market today. So 2016 compared to 1970, an awful lot has changed. Now this particular model here, this is the HSE trim. The HSE, basically that stands for High Specific Equipment. As opposed to the SE, which is standard equipment. You can also get the Range Rover in a long wheelbase. That costs more money, obviously. That is the LSC, and you can go even higher with such editions like the Autobiography Edition, and I'll get to the pricing of all this later, but you're going to find out just how expensive the Land Rover Range Rover is. But if you look at the exterior styling here, what I really like about the Range Rover, it's unquestionably a Range Rover. You can't mistake this car for anything else, such as like a Cadillac Escalade or even a Toyota Land Cruiser, just off the top of my head. And I really think that, Land Rover has done a great job of, preserving the styling over the decades. I mean, obviously it's evolved, but it's just still recognizable without question. And the paint color for this one, it's called Fuji White. And normally I'm not a big fan of like white cars. I think it's really plain, but I think with the Range Rover's exterior styling, white looks really good. And these wheels, believe it or not, these are the standard wheels. They're 20-inch wheels. I really like them, but if you want, you can also upgrade to a set of 22-inch wheels. Of course, that'll cost extra. It just depends on what your needs and what your budgets are. And if you can take a look right by the front doors, those are actually vents for the engine. And this is a very powerful engine here, as I'm about to tell you. It is a 3-liter supercharged V6. It's got a total of 380 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. Now, this is an optional engine. The base engine in the Range Rover SE, it is pretty much a slightly detuned version of this V6. That one has 340 horsepower. If you want, if you're a fan of diesels, you can also go for a 3-liter turbo diesel V6. But there's also the top-of-the-line 5.0-liter supercharged V8. That has a total of 510 horsepower. But let's hear the engine here for a moment. So yeah, having a supercharged V6 in a car that weighs close to 5,000 pounds, you're going to need that power. Now, in terms of fuel efficiency, it's not very fuel efficient. You're going to get 17 miles per gallon in the city, 23 miles per gallon on the highway, and a combined 19 miles per gallon. But, if you can afford a car like this, I really don't think gas prices are really going to concern you too much. And stepping inside here, it's this Range Rover, it just impressed me in every way I looked at it. There was not a cheap component anywhere inside. No sort of cheap plastic trim or whatever. Everything here, it is very high quality leather. That's all real wood and brushed aluminum. And one of the things, when people ask me, what is a Range Rover to you? And my response is, it's probably the most, if not the perfect luxury vehicle out there. Sometimes I wonder why people would even go for a comparatively priced luxury sedan when they could have something like this Range Rover HSE, because you can go off-roading in this. This is all weather. You never have to worry about what is the terrain. Is there snow? Can you tow your speedboat in this thing? Absolutely. It has a 7,716 maximum towing capacity. You obviously won't get anywhere near that in, say, a BMW 7 Series. That's just a big sedan. So imagine having all of the best luxury features of the finest luxury cars packed into an SUV that has, permanent four-wheel drive, a 7,700 pound, towing capacity, and there you go, you have your Range Rover. And even the rear seat occupants they're just doused in luxury. There's, there's tri-zone climate control, two front seat passengers and the rear seat passengers as well. No matter what, you're going in just absolute comfort here. Now this interior, it has an 8-inch touchscreen, a 380-watt Meridian sound system, heated leather steering wheel, interior mood lighting. It's like ambient lighting, Sirius XM satellite radio, HD radio, Bluetooth cruise control, and voice activation control. The works. But in terms of this infotainment system here, it's just okay. It's very similar to the system I was working with in the Jaguar XE. If you check out that unboxing review as well, it's not the best. It works well enough, but I think when I was typing the destination where I wanted to go, it was pretty slow to search, and that's kind of frustrating, especially when I know there are other nav systems out there that are even better. So another thing to bear in mind is that Land Rover launched this particular generation Range Rover back in 2012, and they've been steadily upgrading it ever since, including the infotainment and nav systems. But there is definitely some more work to do here. But I just learned through a few sources that the next generation Range Rovers are going to go even more luxurious than what you see here. And I think the reason being is because Bentley just launched the Bentayga. It's, another full-on pure luxury big SUV, and Land Rover does not want to be left out. In addition, the upcoming next generation Land Rover Discovery is going more upmarket, so by default, the Range Rover needs to go further upmarket as well. Now this is the system here that it controls the terrain response system, and basically that it controls the a system that allows you to handle just about every road condition. It's called Terrain Response 2. There it is, the second generation, obviously. Basically, the system monitors ground conditions to determine the most appropriate response to the terrain, and it automatically optimizes the SUV settings for that terrain. So, the driver, they can select one of several modes that allows the vehicle to optimize itself for just about any road surface. And look at this. This is so cool. It is an electronic suspension, and it lifts the car no matter what. You don't have to worry about scraping rocks or whatever. It just does it for you. The different driving modes, you have the general, snow, mud, sand. Again, no matter what, this Range Rover will get you there regardless of the terrain. And this terrain response system, it's really, really good. I do think it is one of the best systems of its type on the market, and that is what you should expect from Range Rover. They're global experts in serious off-roading conditions, taking these things to the far reaches of the planet. You should be able to handle, going around, your hometown, regardless of the weather, because of Land Rover's experience in this department. And I really encourage you, if you can, on your screen, take a look at the smallest details of the interior. The stitching was all just top notch. That wood trim, it's really, really nice. And depending on your budget, you can upgrade the wood. It costs up to $1,000 more for various different woods, but the standard Range Rover comes with it. And yes, you get a panoramic sunroof. Again, I wanted to make this comparison. An $85,000 Toyota Land Cruiser does not even have a panoramic sunroof, nor does the similarly priced Infiniti QX80. While a Kia Soul, fully loaded for about $27,000, also has a panoramic sunroof. So, Range Rover, Kia Soul, you have something in common: panoramic sunroof. But it's really, really nice, especially for rear seat occupants. All right, so let's talk safety here. I looked it up because I was curious that the U.S. government has not actually done an official crash test of the Range Rover, but I don't think there's any reason to be concerned. It comes with just a host of safety features. Obviously you have your driver and passenger airbags, rear seat passenger airbags. You have an all-terrain anti-lock braking system, dynamic stability control, roll stability control, cornering brake control, hill descent control, emergency brake assist, trailer stability control. That's really good when you're towing something like a speedboat. Hill start assist, electronic traction control, and of course roll stability control. Rear view camera, it's also standard, and this car also has front and rear parking distance sensors with the display as well, in addition to a tire pressure monitoring system. Now, as you can see in the back seat here, you have your own climate control setup, which is just great. It's very comfortable. The seats were very soft. It was not like a hard leather. It was very plush. But if you want to spend the extra money, you can get the rear seat entertainment pack, which this car does not have. That's an extra $2,400, and that adds TV monitor screens on the back headrest of the front seats. So that's really cool, but when I get to pricing, you're going to see just how expensive this vehicle can get. Oh, and I really love how that rear liftgate opens. It's all electronic. You don't have to do anything. And as you can see, there's just plenty of space inside. The seats, obviously, the rear seats fold 60-40. I don't think you're going to have any problems whatsoever being able to fit whatever you need to fit in the Range Rover. Oh, and I almost forgot. What's the performance of a supercharged V6? Well, you're going to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7 seconds, and there's a top speed of 130 miles per hour. So there you have it. And there's your cargo protection screen right there. That's good to have. There's also, tinted windows, so you're just getting, just privacy no matter what. And I love seeing these things in traffic. You almost see how satisfied the driver is. They're just commanding the road. All right, so what's the competition? Well, you got the Toyota Land Cruiser that has a base price of $83,800. The Infiniti QX80 that goes for $67,000. The Lincoln Navigator is $66,000. The Cadillac Escalade starts at $75,000. And all the vehicles I just mentioned, those are the prices that reflect the cheapest trim that has four-wheel drive. They come standard, those vehicles, with rear-wheel drive, but I wanted to give you the best comparison in terms of pricing possible with four-wheel drive. So how much does this one cost? Well, the cheapest Range Rover costs $84,950. The HSE trim, like the one you see here, that has a base price of just under $92,000. But this vehicle here, with all the features packed in, and it only had, I believe, the Vision Assistance package for $2,500, and that's about it. With the destination handling fees, total of $96,000. Great car, but it just depends if you want to spend nearly $100,000 on this. And for the supercharged V8, you're going to go over $100,000 easily. All right, everyone, I'm out of time for today. Thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, leave them for me in the comments below. Any more cars you want me to review, leave them those suggestions in the comments as well. And be sure to check in to carbuzz.com for the full review. And I'll see you next time for my latest unboxing review. Thanks for watching.